The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
What is going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and I am here on my show, Astro Buzz, doing a post-debate show. Yes, I know, mixing spirituality and also mixing politics is probably the most controversial thing that you could ever do, but that's what I like to do. And I want to make something very clear about this show. This show has caused lots of controversy, not only with my fans, but outside and even my personal life. And I want to remind everybody that this show is entertainment. Number one, it's entertainment. I believe that this whole entire political circus show, number one, is entertainment to me. I find it fun. It's like watching a video game, and I used to play a video game called Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter when I was a kid, and it's like picking your person and watching them fight it out and duke it out. Yes, I believe politics does have a serious and very important side to our lives. But I will also say this, that this is a time for us to be very realistic about the circus show, to realize that the power is always in the people if you are an American and you are watching this, and it is not in your president, it is in the people. That's how this country was founded. That's what's said in the Constitution. And I think people forget that. They actually believe that the power of the president is going to change the whole entire universe in your life directly. I don't know how many presidents I've lived in my life, and my life really hasn't changed much except for very minor things, of course, but not in the power to make a difference in the world, not in the power to change your life or make it great. It is not determined off who is the president. So I just want to say that, put that out there, because, you know, people, I think, get a little bit too crazy about this whole entire thing. And I just want to say, don't forget that. Now, there's a lot to discuss, and we're going to discuss it right now, where we're going to have some fun. Because when I do this, I always talk about the astrology. That's why a lot of people are here, and let's take a look at it. This is the exact chart for what is going on in the political spectrum of tonight. This is exactly when the debate started at 9 p.m. Eastern in St. Louis, Missouri, okay? Now, first thing that calls out to me when I look at this astrology chart is all the Capricorn and Libra energy. This is what we call a major square in astrology, which means it's a battle. There's a battle between being fair. There's a battle between being balanced, harmonious, relationship-wise. And then there's the battle of Capricorn. Rigid, tough. And this is where Mars and Pluto are, and the moon does not like to be here. So that aspect of having to be tough, that aspect of having to deal with, you know, structures and rules, man, not very easy when you're in a big Libra energy, of course, with the Sun and Jupiter and Mercury, which are much more positive alignments. All the three beneficial planets, the Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury in Libra, happiness. And the malefic planets, except the moon is not any of it, is in Capricorn. So it's not in a very fun place. So unfortunately, trying to find peace isn't easy, but I think peace won at the end of the day, because at the very end of this whole entire crazy debacle of a debate that we call it, guess what happened? The question was, what do you see good in the other person? And I thought that was the best of everything that I saw, to be very honest with you. That at the end of the day, Libra, positivity, hope won. And I think we lose that perspective in the way that the media spins all this to us, separating from what candidate, because the media spins both sides. Is that at the end of the day, positivity is there. That was the question where everybody laughed. That was the question at the very end of the debate where everybody really kind of put their own egos down and put it aside and had to look at the other person and what they see good in that other person. And that's going to win, believe it or not, in a time like this, even when you see this much Capricorn, even when you see this much. And yeah, it could be a little bit intense, but at the end of the day, I think it's beautiful. I really do. And when I'm looking at this debate, there was Donald Trump talked about fairness. He thought that she was getting more time, but then it was funny because he was totally like talking over her. So I felt like they both kind of were fair in many ways, because I think they both kind of won. She would get more time, but he would interrupt her a lot, probably because he was interrupting her a lot. But I thought that the moderators did a good job of hitting both sides. Not only did they hit Donald Trump in that video that came out, and whether or not he, I don't think Donald Trump answered the questions as much from the audience. I think he did at the beginning. I think at the end he started to do that more. I think Hillary answered the questions of the people, but you could see her avoid questions a lot. I thought that was kind of interesting. And if we were to go into the astrology of this was all about, Mercury in Libra. Mercury finally has entered Libra. This is the first debate between the presidential candidates, and this was a lot more weighing out. Now, if we were to do the astrology of just sun signs, so fun horoscope astrology, all right? The real fun horoscope stuff. Donald Trump is a Gemini, and there's a lot of air sign stuff going on. So for him, I think it was much easier for him to speak in this debate and communicate. There was a lot of very interesting aspects for being a Scorpio because all this energy was in Libra. That's a heavy load in the 12th house. So I think it was harder for Hillary to really get out and speak the way that she did in the last debate when she had it in Virgo, where it's very good for a Scorpio and speaking. So it's interesting that I felt the tides turn just astrologically. Okay, people are gonna freak out and think I'm saying like I'm picking a winner or something. What I do feel that I saw was a change in the feeling of the debate, a change in the atmosphere of the debate. Because when I look at this chart, the moon was void off course, and it was at the edge of Capricorn. That's very crusty, very edgy, very old school. But there was this Mercury, Jupiter, and Libra that was like, we're going to put everything on the table and debate it all. Libra is the sign of debate. Capricorn doesn't really debate. It goes, I'm just going to get here or not. And I think both candidates showed they put their Capricorn, plan to the top. But I think that at the same time, they did a good job of learning how to debate each other. I thought that this was much more of a debate than the last one. I thought this format was much better. I thought that this void of course moon forced people to emotionally kind of detach from either side of who they wanted, or I guess you could look at it as another way. Void of course moon in Capricorn could also mean where you stick to only one side. But I would say that people kind of emotionally let go and really focused a lot more on the debate aspect and weighing out a lot of things. I think both sides had a lot of good sides to debate over. But I think from a sun sign perspective, I would say that this was more difficult because I think it was easier for Trump. I think he got reamed on the last debate based off the astrology. I think for her, I think you could see her having 12th house issues. And 12th house issues are feeling like you're being drowned a little bit. But, I think Donald Trump said the best compliment at the end, like Hillary will not quit. And you could see her not wanting to quit. I also noticed that Donald Trump stood up the whole time. He didn't sit much. And she noticed that and started standing the last 45 minutes of the debate. And I think because that would have been a big thing. He was standing the whole time, holding on the chair, very fidgety, very Gemini-like. She definitely has much more composure, but I think it showed on the tape that for her, she really had to realize, even being deep in the 12th. I mean, I'm a Leo. I went through it when Jupiter was in Cancer, when Mercury was in Cancer, when there was a bunch of stuff in Cancer, 4 years ago. Oh boy, 12th house energy is not easy, especially when the sun's there. You feel like it's like, woo. And one thing about the 12th house is you could also feel like you could be a little bit overconfident in your imagination when really it's not that way. And I think that even with all of Donald Trump's crazy stories, and actually I think this will be a good Astro Buzz to talk about this sex tape, or it's not even a sex tape, but this tape of him talking about sex and talking about groping women and so forth, which was a horrible thing to watch. My mother couldn't even watch it, it was that bad. And I think any woman in the world couldn't watch it. It was interesting to see him, in my point of view, and that's why I'm calling this an entertainment show, but kind of push that aside and really throw it on Hillary hard. Like it made Hillary look bad with the email stuff, and the tape of his got really kind of pushed away pretty easily, which I thought comes from a fifth house transit. A fifth house transit is much lighter and much easier, and it's interesting to see that this happened. What was more interesting is Venus was at 20 degrees of Scorpio when this whole thing happened. And that's exactly where Hillary Clinton's Mercury is, and her Venus is over in that area. So it was interesting, and this is where her South Node is as well. So I thought it was interesting to see Venus at this place because I think for her, she did much better on communicating to the people in the audience. But I don't know if she did as good of a job communicating to the American people. That was kind of an interesting transit for me to see. Venus on her Mercury, much better with the in-person people. But she didn't look at the camera once and direct or talk to America. And I felt Donald Trump felt a lot more from his heart, but he did not connect with the audience at all. I don't even think he knew the people's names, to be honest with you. So how's everybody doing? We are actually in the chat room right now, which is super fun. And I actually have found a way to do the live chat room. So actually people can see the comments here that are just watching and are not, you can actually see what's going on here. It's pretty cool. Yeah, here we go. Boom. So some people are saying she's fake. He rocked. A lot of people are saying that he rocked. It was interesting, and I'm going to be very honest with everybody, okay? So I'm here at the Leo King Studios, and I had my door open because it's hot. It's been hotter than Hades lately, and sorry about Haiti. I shouldn't have said that, but with all the things that happened with the hurricane this week. And we'll talk about that at the end of this Astro Buzz. But it's been hot. So I had the door open. And when I was watching the debate, when Trump went after Hillary about Bill Clinton and all that stuff, people were screaming outside here. And my neighbor came by and said, do you hear all these people? People all over the place were screaming and actually cheering for Donald Trump. I never heard a cheer for Hillary anywhere outside. And I'm in an industrial complex, though, so it's not like by residential, but I thought that was really interesting, Let's see what people are saying. People are saying, oh, Jill Stein, Green Party. We've talked about her. Unfortunately, she's probably not going to go anywhere. She might get more write-ins than I think people are going to give her. Some person said that she did great. Some person said, from an objective point of view, if these are the two best candidates that the U.S. can come up with, then God save America. I thought that is so funny. David, pull cards. We'll pull cards when I go to a commercial break. I have to go get them because I'm sitting here. I won't be able to go. I'll have to go get the cards. She's dishonest. She has a couple of times this way. Very interesting. Hi, Felicia. Felicia and I are friends, if you guys all don't know. It was epic. And in that moment when he said he would prosecute you, epic moment. It's very interesting to me. And I'm just going to be very politically, uncorrect here and just be very honest with people when I say this. And, people think I take the Trump stand all the way, which, maybe I do. Maybe if I was going to come out and just be honest with you, y'all, like I just am a little bit more politically incorrect, or, I really am. That's how I roll my astrology, and that's kind of how I am. But I can say this. The more people I talk to everywhere I go are for Trump. A lot of people are in the closet. A lot of people are afraid to say it. A lot of people are, just for it. Now I know there are so many things that people just do not like, and there are so many things when it comes to, especially coming from the spiritual point of view, that you would think that's just horrible. But I just wrote a movie, and I just did a movie called Age of Deception. And I was on a television show called True Beauty. And that show is about seeing a person's true beauty on the inside. And I got eliminated because I talked bad. I cussed at a black girl. She was like, her and I just got in a fight. Not because she's black, just because she was drunk and she was a bitch, just to be honest with you. And I hate myself for it because, that's on TV forever. And that's on iTunes forever. On ABC. In front of 7 million people live. I got kicked off of that show for doing that. 2, the other part, the reason why they kicked me off the show is because there was a woman asking for help, and I wasn't helping a lady who needed help with her dog. I just walked in the store and said, sorry, I got to do something. Now, the guy who beat me stole. He also gave away a secret. He also, what else did he do? He also didn't help somebody take a picture, and he also didn't help the same lady with the dog. Now, I don't know if any of you guys remember me from when I did my show, True Beauty, but you can go look it up, go watch it on iTunes, go watch all 4 episodes, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But when it comes to True Beauty between these two candidates, and this is coming from somebody who was in this position on a television show that got judged by True Beauty. Somebody who lies, cheats, and steals, opposed to somebody saying bad things about other people, what side is better? I think the spiritual community forgets some of that sometimes. Now everybody's going to think I'm just only on a Trump thing, but I'm just coming from a deeper part. Fuck both those politicians. Let's just talk about spirituality. It's like rainbows and, Whole Foods only. And if you don't fit into that category, then you're just not a good person. Now, it's like, I think we forget that there are levels of darker shades. And you know what? Being mean and saying bad things to people and putting people down is horrible. But at the end of the day, cheating, lying, or stealing has always been worse. I've just never got why that has been the weirdest thing in the spiritual community. Is like, the reason why I came up with the movie Age of Deception is because the new religion that's being formed is actually a spiritual form or a spiritual modality that encompasses this almost unrealistic and I'm going to be honest about the Christianity thing. I think the beautiful part of Christianity is that we are not all perfect. And the new spirituality way really gets on your imperfections, really gets on your unconscious behaviors, which I think is an important thing as a spiritual teacher. When I'm unconscious or I'm dealing with a client and they're dealing with something unconscious, I want to help them realize that. And I think Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton both need a lot of unconscious therapy, But I will say this, the new spiritual community puts people down if they do not eat at a certain Whole Foods, if they do say something that doesn't fit in the spiritual bubble. And unfortunately, that's happening in this election. And I believe the deception that is going on in the media, not to define either candidate, but to define, and maybe, I'll be honest, you could tell in the media that it is much more one-sided. But I can't tell you that this age of deception is much more than whether or not they elect Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. That's all just like puppet show stuff. But it's whether or not you're going to believe in this new way of life that actually hides the more deeper, darker stuff that's going on and puts the more simplistic, more normal life stuff as doing bad. Now that might sound way crazy, but that's what my movie Age of Deception is about in a deeper way, not that way. But I would say that this election actually is trying to put the worst things as not that bad and the things that are bad but not that great as the worst. It's like swapping them. And going back to the chat room, it's interesting. Somebody just said it's sad. We really need a woman to balance the male energies in government, but she isn't the answer, sadly. And I completely agree with that 120,000 billion cajillion %. The one thing I don't like about Trump is that I don't see he's afraid to embrace any feminine side at all. Any. And I think you got to have that as a soul, right? Especially as a divine masculine man. I wouldn't call him a divine masculine man. I'd call him a masculine man, but I would not call him a divine masculine man, right? And she definitely is not a divine feminine at all. At all. And I like how Stephen just puts that the age of Aquarius is fixed. It is very true. It is a fixed sign. It also is ruled by Saturn, control. And it's interesting that I actually thought about this on a very long and deep way when I did my presentation about how the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius and then the age of Capricorn, okay? So for the next 4,000 years and the last 2,000 years are definitely the hardest of all the ages to live in. The hardest. So I think that is a great question. We should go Greek, half men, half women. LOL. Holly. So Margaret Jean has a great question. Do you think something totally unexpected will happen before the elections? It's a really good question. But you know what? I want to go get my tarot cards, and I want to be able to get them and to show them. So we are going to come right back and be back, and I need to go get them. I'm going to have to actually get off my seat to go do that. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Thanks. We are back. Sorry about that. I'm actually sending people to go get the cards for me, and we were making camera adjustments right now because it was a little hard to get this camera going, but right now I am getting the cards. So to answer the question about if I think something is going to happen before the race, unexpected, 100%. And you know what? That's not based off astrology. That's based off my spiritual guides and gut. That I think that, especially with okay, we'll do astrology. South Node conjunct Neptune coming up during the election period. Yeah, that is some crazy deception. All while we're in Scorpio, which is about the sign of manipulation. Oh yeah, I don't even think the video about Trump that happened this week, that was nothing. That was nothing. There are people holding on to stuff about both candidates because the email stuff that came out actually about Hillary just this week was just as bad, to be honest with you, showing that she really isn't on the up and up when it comes to this whole political field. So I really think that it's very difficult. Here, you could actually bring the cards to me right there. Here, thank you very much. Thank you. We have got cards now, people. But you know, Trump's thing showed like behind closed doors how he really acts. You know, he's a womanizer. You know. I will say, especially as somebody who's been in reality TV, when you have cameramen outside and you're mic'd up and you're with another TV host and you're about to go on TV and it doesn't matter if it's a woman and there's a hot guy out there, if there's a girl and you're a man and there's a hot, you know what? I'm going to tell you from a personal experience, and I am a ex-reality star, done 3 reality TV shows in my life. You know what you do when you're going right before it? You talk shit. You're all pumped up and you're in your ego. And one of the hardest lessons I ever learned in my life is watching some similar situation like Donald Trump, where the video is exposed of how you really were talking. It's on the internet, folks. I'm not hiding it. Go to iTunes, type in the show True Beauty, season 2. You can watch me do exactly what Trump said. And I said crazier crap. So I feel for him. I know what it is, but does that make me really who I am? I don't know. That's kind of an interesting question. But I think something crazy will happen manipulation-wise right before. I'm thinking that the bomb's going to be dropped the week of. Let's actually do something really fun. First of all, I do want to go back to the questions while I will look up some of the chart stuff here in a second. Let's see. Donald is just so gross. Everyone sees it. I agree. I don't think he's a beautiful human being at all. Neither do I think is Hillary. I don't think either one of them are. But you know what? At the end of the day, I got to also give love out. And you know what? I send love to both of them. I hope that they can become better people. They can become better individuals. You know? So I thought we should have some fun real quick. Let's move this off, everyone. And let's go to... Oh, hold on. Let's 1 second here. Let's go to the chart. And let's do a little tour here of what it's going to look like over the next month. Now, on the 19th, Mars and Pluto are going to conjunct. This is also going to be when the sun's past Uranus, so that's not a big thing. Saturn, yeah. Okay. Neptune's getting ready for retrograde. Mars and Pluto could reveal something big. So I would mark your calendar for the 19th. And even into, that week, the build up into the 19th, and I would say the 17th, 18th, 19th, it's on a Wednesday. It's on Monday through Wednesday. It's a perfect time to release something, especially with the moon in Gemini in a very hard square the day before. I would say that it would be October 18th. That would be a day of some sort of very catastrophic, very big information, very big blow, something to really change this. This is also the day that Venus comes into Sagittarius. It's going to be a big day. So I would say that would be very big, but the final blow is definitely going to be the new moon in Scorpio. It's going to be October 30th. And that week, the moon will come through Saturn. South node exactly conjunct Neptune, especially in the mean node, which to me is more stronger than the true node. And Mars at the final degree of Capricorn. There will be a blow, especially with the moon in Aquarius, unpredictability, and that moon is going to square the sun on the 7th. The day before the election is going to be the biggest blow. Guaranteed. I'm just calling it out here now. Mars at the final degree of Capricorn, moon square the sun, Mercury square the moon in Scorpio and Aquarius. It's going to be pretty intense. Some people are asking, if we go back into the chat room, about disclosure. I think the disclosure thing, unfortunately, with South Node conjunct Neptune, right? Like, unfortunately, is kind of being suppressed. So, or distracted from. South Node conjunct Neptune is much distractions. I think if you want to look into next year, 2017, when you got... the reason why I think disclosure is much more 2017-ish, 2018-ish is the finishing of Saturn and Sagittarius in a much better position, which is all about research. The South Node leaving Pisces and moving into Leo Aquarius, which the South Node in Aquarius and the Leo energy definitely deals with aliens much more than Pisces, Virgo, unfortunately. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that's going to come. I unfortunately, that's just my truth, Gotta be honest. But I think I was very clear on when I think some big things about what's going to happen to this presidential thing and when crazy stuff's going to come out. But, a lot of people, it's funny, a lot of people are bringing up Jesus coming back. Interesting with South Node Neptune energy. Jesus could be a big part of this election, believe it or not. I think it could be a bigger part of the election near the end, the last week. It could be really putting Hillary on the line about her faith. What is her faith? How strong is her faith? And Donald Trump, because on both of them, I'll be honest, both of them don't really feel very godly-like, okay? A lot of people are talking about faith and especially what's going on with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. But I'm going to be real with you. I don't think either candidate is very faithful. I don't think either candidate has a very rooted foundation in God, to be honest with you. So that's my truth. I think they both are the worst godly candidates we have ever seen. Carmen says, and if you look at Carmen, she says, Donald is an alien, haha, in a good way somehow. And, it's funny. I actually had said that in my last Astro Buzz debate post-show on how I believe Donald Trump is an alien as well, with his Sun conjunct Uranus, North Node conjunct there. I mean, he's here to disrupt things, and that's the problem. I think people have a very difficult time with Donald Trump, and everybody has the worst time with Uranus energy. Whenever Uranus comes in your life, like today, I cracked the back part of my tooth today. Like, literally cracked it. But you know what's funny is Uranus is exactly quincunx my south, or my IC, okay, the bottom of my chart in Scorpio, which is where my Saturn is down there and so forth. So anyways, like, whenever you deal with Uranus, you deal with stuff that you just don't want to deal with it. You don't want to see it. You don't want to look at it. You don't want to see that future. You don't want to see that new way. And unfortunately, I think with Donald Trump, nobody wants to see this new way, and they might not like the way that he spins it, but he obviously brings truth. Just nobody likes the way that he spins it. Nobody likes the character in which he is. A womanizer. I mean, it's interesting to see that a womanizer, not very godly and very kind of pompous person is delivering truth. I mean, I had a lady that I had a big debate with on YouTube about this. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, how could anybody pompous deliver truth? I said, anybody can deliver truth. At the end of the day, truth is just truth. And I think the way that it's packaged, right? And the person that's packaging it we're meant to believe it's got to be packaged with this holier than not kind of perfect person with perfect lines and a perfect tan that just came out and perfect hair. And it's all got to look a certain way. And it's got to look like Disneyland. And it's got to look like, Prince Charming comes out and delivers the message, or like Belle comes out and delivers the message from Beauty and the Beast. And it's like, that's the only way that truth can be delivered. It's like, people need to realize truth is going to come out from the universe, from the aliens in weird ways. And I mean, this is the way we got it. Because I don't see truth coming from, I don't feel truth. I'm just going to be honest. As a spiritual person, what makes this so hard, is I don't feel truth from Hillary. I just don't feel it. I feel bullshit. I feel deception. I feel lies. And this is somebody who does readings for a living. When I look at the guides and the fake smile, especially when they were talking about Bill Clinton, and tonight when he was talking about Bill Clinton and her and how they attacked these women, and she's sitting there smiling creepy, it was hard for me to watch. But at the same time, it's hard for me to watch when I hear something great from Donald Trump and I'm like, that's amazing and that's great and it's truth. And then you see the kind of person he is. It's like, man, it's like we're fucked on both sides. We got a girl who acts perfectly but does horrible things, like really bad, to the worst of the worst and the lies of the lies. And then you get some sort of truth from this other guy who just really is just not packaged and hasn't done any spiritual work at all. I think at least Hillary's done a little bit more spiritual work than Donald Trump. I'll be honest with you. You can tell. At least she's like grew up with some sort of more spiritual upbringing or roots, So it's like, and this is the whole Pisces thing. It's like, okay, one fish is going this way and the other fish is going this other way. And I think that's what makes it extremely hard. And on a lighter note, I want to let everybody know that that today I got a new cat, and you can check it on my Instagram, and it's actually a Pisces. And I know this has nothing to do with the thing, but I wanted to bring some light to the debate that my cat, the Leo Prince, has been needing more attention, so I went and got him a new cat today, and I've been looking for the last couple days. And I got him a new kitten, and she's a Pisces, and her name is Pixie Pisces Princess. So she's PPP. Anyway, I thought I'd bring some light to this whole thing. Now, I want to go back to questions before I get going here. So if anybody has any questions for me, let me know. I also want to bring up, yes, I did do a big video live about the change to my horoscopes on YouTube and so forth, and how I wanted to focus more on Facebook and YouTube Live, and how the Uncut will be moving to the app in the next couple of weeks only, for app members only, and that if you still can't be on the app, the free stuff, there's going to be more of this stuff free, still looking at charts, still talking about astrology, but much more from a storybook place. I feel that I'm trying to bring astrology in a more forward-looking position and putting horoscopes in a separate place. If you want the horoscopes, they're there, and it's $5.99 a month, and you get everything, and you get more than the Uncut. It's like overwhelming how much you get. So that we talked about, but at the same token, there's other. It's like at the other part of this, I feel that if I'm going to do powerful light work and really deep spiritual stuff, it needs to be protected in a place with people that are all of that light, like, of course I'm going to never stop doing my public service. I've always said that, and you will always see me live, but you know what the future is? Facebook Live. People are on my YouTube, go look at it, saying that think I'm crazy that I think YouTube's dead. And when I say YouTube's dead, I'm not saying it's dead literally. What I'm saying is that I believe it's peaked. And when anything's peaked, whether it's the housing market or whatever, that's when you got to start to find the other ship. And you know what the other ship is? Facebook Live. You know what? I did a YouTube Live the other day, and I have way more. I have 40,000 subscribers, and only like 100 people watched. I had 400 or 500 at a time watching on Facebook. Facebook Live and video is where people are watching their videos now. YouTube is a great place. It made my career. And you know what? A lot of the great documentaries or stories or conspiracy theories or deeper lectures are made for YouTube. But when it comes to quick, fast, and stuff, and to be able to connect and to be able to do this I can't do, on YouTube, you're not going to see this. You're not going to see this. Look, I'm putting up the chat of what you guys are saying on Facebook right now. Facebook Live is the future. And and you know what? And even maybe other apps with live feature. Live is the future. In 2 years, the whole plan is for me to never even do videos again, and it's only just live. I literally come to the studio like CNN and do the horoscopes live. That's the whole plan, but it's going to take a while to get there, and it's only going to do that by shifting and putting my live shows and my documentaries and all my other stuff on YouTube and making YouTube still a great astrological place to get everything. But making Facebook Live, making my app, it's the future. And you know what? Uranus is coming into Taurus, folks, in 2018. And if you want to see the future change, it's coming. Whenever Uranus moves signs, everything changes. When Uranus was in Pisces and moving into Aries is when the whole internet and social media was it was lagging, and when it went into Aries, it blew up. You know what's going to happen? All the top 3 social media stuff is going to change, and people are going to be finding information in new ways, and it's going to be in a Taurus way, a much more valuable system, one where people own their worth a little bit more. I'm just looking ahead, folks. When I talk about astrology, I just look ahead. If I could direct you anywhere in your life in astrology, there's a lot of ships that are coming to an end right now. It's interesting in this political, because this is an Astro Budge, and we're talking about politics right now. There is an old way that is ending, whether it's going to be Donald Trump's future or Hillary's future. One of them is going to end. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But when it comes to social media, I believe that YouTube has reached its peak. I think that Facebook is smart by integrating more new stuff. They bought Instagram. Instagram just added story. People are watching Snapchat and Instagram stories and Facebook Lives more now than YouTube. People watch my app more than YouTube. So, and the ultimate goal is, if you want to create and get up on there, right? If you want to get on TV, right? Okay, you got to create your own network. You can't just be stuck. You know what Vice did? Vice started on YouTube, and then they took the balls and they went to other places, and they went on to HBO. Okay, they still put stuff on YouTube, but you know what their focus now is? HBO. Go. HBO. It's like, I know we're talking about so many things, I know, but with this election too, I think you need to make a choice of where you feel that radical change is going to happen, because the whole world's about to go through it. And when 2018 comes, when Saturn enters into Capricorn and Jupiter follows behind it in 2019, and you're going to have 3 major big planets, the 2 biggest planets, and the planet that owns Capricorn, and you got Pluto in there, all at the same time. Oh my gosh. So who's ever in the election or whoever's in the office at that time is going to be dealing with a whole entire system change and collapse. And I wonder who would deal with that better and help the world change. I don't have the answer to that. You can only make that choice yourself. So a lot of people are wondering what I'm doing about the cards. Let's pull some cards real quick, huh? Alrighty here. Let's go to chat. What is the question that people want me to answer in the cards? It was interesting to hear about Nadia Shah just now. People said that she did her 10-year anniversary show at midnight on YouTube. The stream just didn't work, and she had to move it to Facebook Live. My point exactly. Go watch Nadia Shah and the Leo King, or actually David Palmer. I wasn't even the Leo King yet. So people want to know who's going to win the election. Will the election be rigged? Ooh. How about we'll do 3, okay? So we're going to do this. We are only going to pull. How should we do this? Oh. Okay, I'm just going to. This is what Spirit said originally for me, okay? I need a little bit of Sprite for this one. Then I need to go get dinner, guys, because I'm going to be filming all the app videos tonight. That's how much stuff's been going on. I'm going to pull 3 cards for Donald Trump first in the election. 3 cards for Hillary Clinton in the election, and then 3 cards about if the election is rigged. Fair? I think that's good. And I ask that the universe clears all my energy, clears the energy of all of us, clears it, and just gives us nothing but a pure message direct from Spirit with positive and love and light, no negative energy attached, and just comes straight from divine source of whatever is happening. And then I ask for you as I shuffle this deck to clear all my energy that I'm going through, so I bring a clear and direct message to everybody else, and instead of flowing cards everywhere. All right, no card tricks, people. This is really a true shuffle. All right. Donald Trump's first 3 cards. He's got the 4 of Pentacles reversed as the first card. His second card is the 9 of Swords upright. And his third card is the Death card reversed. We'll interpret this after we see what's going on. Hillary got the King of Swords reversed. Her second card is the 3 of Wands upright. And her third card is the Tower card reversed. Oh my gosh. They both got as their future cards the Death card or the Tower card reversed. Interesting enough. Now, I do 3 cards as past, present, future. So both of their futures have very dark cards. Now, if the election is rigged, Ace of Rods reversed at the as the past. The present, Queen of Pentacles upright. And our final and future card for if the election is rigged is the Magician card reversed. Oh. Okay, so how do I interpret this? Let's look at Donald Trump first. His past card is the 4 of Pentacles reversed. This is a card where somebody in the past has had to let go of something they've always wanted to and held on to. It also is an extremely greedy card, okay? It's the card where you can't let go. And I think his past has been littered with parts of himself that has dealt with greed and parts that he had to let go. And I think he had to let go of a lot to get to this place. His present is the 9 of Swords upright, anxiety-ridden. I honestly agree with this card. I think that he also has been really feeling like he's stuck by the words he said, but more importantly, it's been very hard for him mentally. I think he is really mentally out of it. I think that he's starting to doubt himself. I think that he's really fearful. I think he's actually scared. And it's interesting to see that he got the Death card reversed. So, is he going to change in the future? No. But a lifelong change will happen to him that he's not prepared for and ready. And maybe he's not prepared for it fully, but he will be forced to change. Now, Hillary Clinton in the past got the King of Swords reversed. This is the number 1 card of not being able in speaking. This shows that she has not been a very good authority in how she speaks. She has not used her communication well, and that she is not a power of leadership like that she should be in the past. Her present card, it looks like everything's going good, baby. She's got the 3 of Wands upright, but this is also a vision of the future. This is not the actual future. I think she really believes she's already won this thing. I think that she thinks that it's all over. I think that she's got nothing but positive. But unfortunately, I mean, I hate to be very honest with you, she does have the Tower card reversed as her future card. I think her visions are about to come crashing down. I think it's going to be a lot harder. And I'll be honest, both of them got the death and the tower card reversed. So this is gnarly, okay, folks? Like, they both are not going to have easy outcomes to this. Now, is the election rigged? Ace of Rods reverses the past card. Definitely. Nobody's been able to get out the positivity that we want to see, or the real positive information hasn't come out. The current aspect is the Queen of Pentacles upright. Now, it's interesting to see, is it being manipulated or rigged right now? Well, this is monetarily. I think that this whole thing is, a lot of people are making money off this election right now. And I think that both sides, they're making money off it. So I don't think it's being rigged at the moment per se, because they're making money off it. But the future is the Magician card reversed. This is like trickery. This is like not doing it for good energy. This is like using magic in dark ways, using magic in the wrong ways, and not in a more divine light. So yes, I do definitely think there will be some rigging. I'm going to pick one card overall for everything, and the overall card is the 10 of Cups upright. That at the end of the day, everything's going to turn out really positive, fine, and everybody's going to be happy with exactly what happens, no matter what person gets elected, no matter what happens, no matter what rigging or elections go. I think people need to see that the 10 of Cups upright, everything's going to be fine. So people are saying Illuminati, crazy. This election is smoke and mirrors. The tower, it was over before it began. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Now, interesting to see. So, but that's what I have to say about the cards. That's what I have to say about the cards. At the end of the day, sure, I have more fun rooting for Trump if this was a video game. And I look at this like a video game, how I started it. I do. I'm not going to lie, because I don't lie to people. I'm not going to lie to you on here. I love it. I love that side of him that is pompous. I am a Leo. I am a Leo rising. I get a ride out of it. I do not agree with how he puts down women, but I have been in a position in my life where I have talked like that before. I can't lie when I say that. So I know what it feels like to be in his shoes and to feel when you're not in that conscious space. And so I feel bad for him, and I feel bad. In Hillary's aspect, I don't know about her. There's too much that just doesn't feel authentic to me and right. Now, I am a Gemini rising. I have a Mars and Saturn in Scorpio. I am a double Leo, Sun in the 12th. So I am a purebred Leo with a lot of Scorpio, and my heart and my truth is everything. And being real is everything. So that's maybe why I have a hard time with her. But I do come from a place where I do agree that she has a much more professional mannerism, and I think she acts like she has a cool hand, but I think if you were to see what she was doing behind the doors, you would see a Donald Trump. It's just interesting that he shows his Donald Trump, and I think behind closed doors, you see much more of him being like a Hillary behind closed doors. So they switch roles behind closed doors. And then they switch roles on the front side of the doors. That would be my final analysis of what's been going on, how everything's going here, and so forth. It's been an interesting election. Still, at this point in the election, I think we are nowhere close to even knowing the truth as far as who's even close to winning. Every time they always say Hillary's up everywhere I go, and I'm talking everywhere I go. And I live in California, one of the most left-wing states in the world. I hear more people talking about Trump than I do Hillary. And that's just from my own reporting. Now, going back to the comments, a woman named Judy said, if you're a woman, you don't feel bad for him. I'm not a woman, so I can't say that. But I feel bad for anybody who gets their private conversations put out there and shown to the world. So I don't think it's because it's a man or a woman thing. I just think it's hard for anybody to hear that stuff. And I feel bad for anybody that has to go through that, Somebody asked an astrology question. I got to answer it. Somebody asked if I use the porphyry system. I actually really like equal house system personally, especially if I'm dealing with somebody from Europe or Canada or somebody of higher up on the earth, because if the earth is flat, then you would want to use equal. If the earth is round, you would want to use equal because it's guaranteed. The problem with porphyry, or the problem, well, not even porphyry. Porphyry is pretty good, I think, because you're safe with if whatever the earth is. But if you deal with Placidus, you're dealing with more of the science of today, and that's it. So I would really look. I would say equal house is much more of the way that I like to go when I do stuff. Anyways, you know what? At the end of the day, it's a human thing. Somebody just said that, like somebody just wrote 80 million copies of 50 Shades of Grey were sold. People are afraid to be real in this country. They'd rather go be real in their bedroom and fantasize about it. And people are afraid of that. And somebody said narcissists are not human. They don't care. Well, I don't look at narcissism as the same way people do. I think people who make things happen in this world have an ego, and that's why it's ruled by Aries. Aries is Mars. So they're very Martian-like. And yes, Mars is a red planet. It is harsh. It does not have... That's why the moon and Mars don't get along. That's why Saturn and the moon don't get along. That's why Neptune and Mars don't get along. You're just dealing with a very Martian person. And humanity is not perfect on either way. There is no perfect human. Some people who have zero narcissistic quality and zero egoistic qualities are horrible people because they don't get anything done, they don't do anything, and they just sit at their home all day and do nothing. So there is no perfect human. Neither Hillary is perfect, neither Trump is perfect. Again, this is entertainment. But I think people get really, really caught up so heavily in what they're told. I was saying this to people recently, and I'm going to end with this. This is how I'm going to end this show. What we're told on that television screen of how to live, including what we're taught in our schools, our perspective of the world. Now, we just lost camera there. Our perspective of the world has always been what the world has told us, what the tube has told us, what our teachers have told us through books that were not written by them, by even spiritual teachers that you don't know. To get to the core of what this reality really is, you have to erase all other perspectives of all of your own belief systems, of other people's belief systems, and you need to go to your own damn truth and what feels right deep in your heart, and that's your own deal. Nobody's perfect. Nobody has the right message only, because now you start to deal with only Christ's way is the right way, or only Allah's way is the right way, or only being a Buddhist is the right way, or only being a vegan is the right way, or only eating meat only and nuts and berries is the right way, or only being on the hot zone is the right way, or only doing yoga instead of 24-hour fitness is the right way, or only having blonde hair instead of brunette hair is the right way, or only being Jewish and not being Jewish is the right way, or only being a Nazi and not being a Jew is the right way. That's what happens. So every time I read somebody in there going like, oh my gosh, Trump's horrible. Oh my God, Hillary, even both sides. It's like, what? Get deeper. Get deeper, that this is a container. And you don't even know what container you're in. You don't even know what life you live in. You don't even know why we're here. So why do you put so much behind these people? As if, and especially judgment never wins. Somebody just said, I agree and I disagree. We are Jupiter in Libra. We are in Sun in Libra. We are Mercury in Libra. Judgment is going to come up bigger than ever for the next year. But this is a time in your life where I think what's more important is realizing the wool over the reality that you were told that you live in, and how the media right now is telling you how to think. about Trump and about Hillary. Both sides. But what's that third thing they don't want you to look at? The world that we really live in. I love you all. Thank you all for supporting me on the Leo King app. Thank you for watching me always on the Leo King. I truly appreciate it. I couldn't do this without you. You guys are all awesome. And I thank you so much. So if you want to watch me every day, get me on the app, which is for computer and Apple or Android. TheLeoKingApp.com leads you to all of it. You do not have to watch the videos on just Apple. You don't need to watch the videos on just Android. You can watch the videos on the computer. And if you have a Windows phone or if you have a BlackBerry, you can go to the same website and it is a mobile form. It works. That's why we are one of the top grossing apps in the store, because this astrology app is way different than any other astrology you're going to get anywhere else. Thank you for all the support. My movie, Age of Deception, you can get it at ageofdeceptionmovie.com. I'm going to end with the trailer for that right now. Yes, it is a little bit louder than everything. Sorry for people for freaking out about that. I'll actually do what I can to make it a little bit lower for people, because I think people are afraid of loudness in the world. And I'm loud, and I roar, and I'm roaring to you. Thank you for all your support, and I will see you guys all on the next Uncut Astrobuzz.
The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
Bye.
And I feel that hope has been really shitty on the planet.
To reach heaven or into the heavens of God. What the hell is going on? What's going on?
To have the right perception.
Hope in the desert to me is the hope that people are going to be willing to really just pay attention to their own research and make a decision, whatever it might be, to just bring to that place of oneness. Because that's the trajectory, that's the destination.